In the waiting of a heart that almost gave in, when the night felt longer than my faith could hold, I was standing on a promise I believed in, but the silence made my courage feel so cold. Still your presence never left me, even when I could not feel. You were closer than the shadows, working wounds you planned to heal. Every tear that fell was not a wasted moment. Every step was leading deeper into trust. Though the door stayed closed beyond my understanding, you were shaping something greater out of dust. There was purpose in the breaking, there was power in delay. What I thought was lost and fading, you were building in your way. When my strength was running out and my hope began to shake, you were writing something perfect in what felt like a delay. God was never late, not even for a second. Every moment held within His hands. What I saw as lost was being redirected by a perfect unseen plan. Now I stand on every promise, knowing He is faithful still. God was never late, He was moving in His will. I surrender every timeline I imagine. Lay it down and trust your higher ways. You are greater than the fear of every outcome. You are faithful through the waiting days. Every chain breaks in your presence, every wall begins to fall. In the power of your name, God, you are sovereign over all. You go before me and behind me, every step is in your sight. Even when I walk through darkness, you are leading me to light. God was never late, He never stopped working. Even when I could not understand, every delay was filled with hidden mercy, guided by His perfect hand. Now I walk in full assurance, with the faith that will not break. God was never late, every promise will await. God was never late, God was never late. questions in my soul. When the road ahead was covered in the unknown, I was searching for a reason I could hold, trying not to face this path alone. Every step felt so uncertain, every moment hard to see, but your presence stayed beside me, even in my disbelief. Through the waiting and the breaking of my plans, when the answers didn't come the way I dreamed, I was learning how to trust beyond my sight, holding on to what I couldn't see. There was purpose in the silence, there was meaning in the pain. What I thought was falling apart, you were turning into gain. When I couldn't see the ending, when I couldn't find my way, you were writing every detail, nothing wasted in the wait. I didn't understand, but God knew. Every step that I would take, every valley I walked through, was leading to a greater place. Now I see with eyes of faith what you were always leading to. I didn't understand, but God knew, and your promise carried me through. I surrender every question without answer, lay it down before your throne. You are greater than the doubts that try to shake me. In your presence I am strong. Every chain is breaking in your power, every fear is losing ground in the glory of your holy name. Freedom now is all around you. Go before me and behind me, every battle you have won, even when I couldn't see it. Your perfect will was being done. I didn't understand, but God knew. Every moment of the fight, every tear that I went through was shaping something in my life. Now I stand in full surrender, with a faith that's strong and true. I didn't understand, but God knew, and His victory pulled me through. I didn't understand, but God moments I could not understand, when the path ahead was undefined. Every step felt like a mystery to me, like I was walking through the blind. But your hand was always leading, even when I couldn't see. Every detail, every second was designed intentionally. Through the waiting and the shifting of my plans, when the doors would close without a sound, I was learning there's a purpose in it all. Even when my world was breaking down, there was movement in the unseen, there was order in the pain. What I thought was just a moment, you were using for your name. When I thought it was random, when I questioned it all, you were shaping my future through what felt like a fall. It was never coincidence, never chance. Every step was in your hands. Every battle, every circumstance was part of your perfect plan. Now I see through eyes of faith. Nothing happened accidentally. It was never coincidence. It was your hand guiding me. I surrender every doubt and confusion, lay it down before your throne. You are greater than the fear of not knowing. In your presence I am strong. Every chain is breaking in your power. Every wall is falling down in the glory of your holy name. Victory is all around. You go before me in the battle, you stand with me in the fire. What I thought was just a moment, you were lifting something higher. It was never coincidence, and now I know every path was leading here. Through the valleys, through the highs and lows, you were always drawing near. Now I stand in full surrender, with the faith that will not flee. It was never coincidence. It was your victory in me. It was never coincidence. It was your victory in me. In the stillness where my words began to fade, when my prayers felt like they fell into the night, I was searching for a sign, a louder voice, but you met me in a whisper, soft and light. In the quiet you were speaking, in the calm you drew me near. Every moment I was waiting, you were already here. Through the silence, through the questions in my soul, when the battle seemed too hidden to explain, I was hoping for a sudden, visible change, but your presence was the healing in my pain. There was movement in the unseen, there was power in the still. Every second you were working, bending every fear to your will. When I thought you were distant, you were closer than breath, writing hope in the silence, bringing life from the dead. The answer came in silence, strong and steady, not in noise, but in your perfect peace. While I waited, you were moving already, setting every captive free. Now I trust in what is hidden, even when I cannot see. The answer came in silence, and your presence rescued me. I surrender every doubt and distraction. Lay it down, let your spirit lead. You are greater than the loudest confusion. You are all that I will ever need. Every chain breaks in your stillness, every fear must bow down low. In the power of your presence, there's a strength the world won't know. You go before me in the silence, you stand with me in the fight. Your voice is calm but full of power, your whisper brings the light. The answer came in silence, never failing, through the waiting, through the unseen world. Oh, every promise you were faithfully unveiling, like never, ever before. Now I stand in full assurance, with a heart that is set free. The answer came in silence, and your presence is my victory. Your presence is my victory. Your presence is my victory. In the quiet of a heart that almost broke, when the weight of every fear was closing in, I was reaching out with nothing left to hold. Just a fragile, trembling faith within. But your presence found me there, in the depth of all my need. You became my only answer. You were all I had to breathe. Through the battles I could never fully see, and the nights that felt too long to understand, I was walking through the fire of surrender, learning how to trust your unseen hand. There was purpose in the struggle, there was power in the pain. What I thought would end my story, you were turning into gain. When I thought it was over, and I had no more to give, you're writing a new story, teaching my heart to live. The miracle that became my story was already written by your hand. In the middle of my weakness and my worry, you were working out your plan. Now I stand in every promise with a faith that finally sees. The miracle that became my story is the proof you fight for me. I surrender every broken piece before you. Every doubt I tried to hide, you are healing what I thought was beyond rescue, bringing life back from inside. Every chain is breaking in your presence, every wall is falling down in the power of your holy name. Freedom now is all around. You go before me in the battle, you surround me with your light. What was written in the darkness, you have turned to victory bright. The miracle that became my story is alive in every breath I take. Every moment you were rewriting glory out of every past mistake. Now I walk in full surrender with a heart that has been free. The miracle that became my story is your victory in me. Your victory in me. Your victory in me. In the silence of my questions, you were near. When my heart was barely holding on to faith, Every step felt like I walked this road alone, but your whisper kept on calling out my name. Through the shadows, through the unknown, you were writing what I couldn't see. Even when my eyes were closed in fear, you were moving endlessly. Tension of the night, when the answers didn't come the way I prayed, I was standing on a promise I couldn't feel, holding on while everything began to shake. There was a battle I couldn't see, but heaven fought on every side, and every tear became a seed for the breakthrough in your time. When I thought it was over, you were already there, making paths in the darkness with a love that won't fail. The miracle was already in motion before I could see, before I believed. Oh, you were working beyond every moment, fighting my battles, bringing victory. Oh, now I will trust in every promise, 'cause I know your hand is guiding me. The miracle was already in motion, and your presence is my victory. I surrender all the fear inside me, lay it down at your feet again. You are greater than what surrounds me, you are stronger than where I've been. Every chain is breaking in your presence, every wall is falling down. In your name there is resurrection, in your name I stand on holy ground. You go before me, you stand behind, your glory surrounds me in every fight. No weapon formed will take my peace, your power is alive in me. The miracle was already in motion before I could see, before I believed. Oh, you were moving through every broken moment, turning my trials to victory. Oh, now I declare every promise with the faith that will not leave. Oh, the miracle was already in motion, and your presence is my victory. Your presence is my victory. Your presence is my victory. In the quiet where my hope felt out of reach, when the distance made your voice feel far away, I I was holding to a word you once had spoken, though the waiting tried to make my faith decay. Still your presence never left me, even when I questioned all. You were guarding every promise, so it would not slip or fall. Through the seasons where the answers never came, and the path was filled with shadows I couldn't see, I kept walking with a fragile kind of courage, trusting you were shaping what would be. There was purpose in the silence, there was strength inside the pain. What I thought had been forgotten, you were calling back again. When I felt abandoned and my heart grew tired, you were still remembering every word you inspired. The promise God didn't forget is still alive, it's moving now. Every word He ever said is breaking through the doubt. I will stand and not be shaken by the fear I used to know. The promise God didn't forget is rising in my soul. I surrender every timeline I imagine, lay it down before your throne. You are faithful through the waiting and the questions. You have never left me on my own. Every chain is breaking in your presence. Every wall is coming down in the power of your holy name. There is victory all around. You go before me, you stand behind me. Oh, your promise echoes through my life. What was written will be finished by your power and your light. The promise God didn't forget is now unfolding right in me. Every word is being fulfilled for all the world to see. Now I walk in full assurance with a faith that overflows. The promise God didn't forget is stronger than my doubts. The promise God didn't forget will never let me go. In the moment when my strength began to fade, and the road ahead was covered in the dark. I thought I'd reach the end of all my hope with a fragile, tired, and searching heart. But in the silence of my breaking, there was something I couldn't see. You were standing in the ashes, breathing life again in me. Every door that closed felt like a final word. Every step grew heavier with the pain. I was walking through a valley of surrender, where I learned to trust beyond the rain. There was movement in the ruins, there was purpose in the fall. What I thought was gone forever, you were building through it all. When I felt defeated at the end of me, you were just beginning what you planned to be. What seemed like the end was only the beginning. You were writing something greater than I knew. In the darkness, your light was still shining, turning every loss into something new. Now I see with eyes of faith, every promise you have spoken is true. What seemed like the end was only the beginning. Every step was leading back to you. I surrender every broken piece before you, every fear, every shattered dream. You are healing what I thought was beyond repair. You are stronger than it seemed. Every chain is falling in your presence. Every wall is crashing to the ground in the power of your holy name. Freedom and new life are found. You go before me in the unknown. You walk beside me through the fire. What felt like an ending in my story was the start of something higher. What seemed like the end was only the beginning. Now I'm standing in the light of your grace. Every moment you were always working, even when I could not see your face. And now I walk in full surrender, with a faith that will not break. What seemed like the end was only the beginning. Every promise you will make. What seemed like the end was only the beginning. In the quiet of my weakness, you are near. When my strength is fading, you remain. Every breath I take is held within your hands. even when I cannot speak your name. You are light inside my darkness. You are hope that never ends. On this path I'm not abandoned. You are with me to the end. Through the waiting and the pressure of the night, when the doors are closed and nothing moves, I am standing on the promise you have spoken. Even when there's nothing left to prove, there is power in the unseen. There is purpose in delay. Every moment you are working in a higher, greater way. When it feels like it's breaking, when I can't understand, you are shaping my story with your mighty hand. When God changes everything in an instant, mountains move and chains are broken apart. What was lost is suddenly rewritten by the power of His Spirit and heart. I will trust in every moment, even when I cannot see. When God changes everything in an instant, His victory is alive in me. I surrender every fear, every question. Lay it down before your throne. You are greater than the storm that surrounds me. In your presence, I am not alone. Every wall begins to crumble at the mention of your name. There is freedom in your power. There is healing in your grace. You go before me into battle. You are my shield. You are my song. In my weakness, you are stronger. In your promise, I belong. When God changes everything in an instant, nothing stays the way it was before. Every chain falls in His presence. Every heart is made whole once more. Now I stand in full surrender with a faith that will not flee. When God changes everything in an instant, His victory is alive in me. His victory is alive in me. His victory is alive in me. In the stillness of a heart that longs for you, when my strength is not enough to stand alone, I can feel your presence gently drawing near, reminding me I'm never on my own. You are light within the shadows. You are peace inside the storm. Every step I take is guided by the power of your love. Through the battles that are hidden from my eyes, when the struggle feels too heavy to explain, I am holding to the promise of your word. Even when it's hard to stand in faith, there is movement in the unseen. There is purpose in delay. While I'm waiting, you fight for me in a higher, sovereign way. When I reach my limit and I'm losing ground, you are still in control, turning it around. When heaven decides to act, nothing can stand. Every chain is broken by your mighty hand. What was impossible begins to move. Mountains fall when you speak truth. I will trust in every step you lead, even when I don't understand what I see. When heaven decides to act, I believe your victory is alive in me. I surrender every fear and every question. Lay it down before your throne. You are greater than the battle all around me. In your presence, I am not alone. Every wall is falling in your power. Every lie is silenced by your name. There is freedom in your glory. There is healing in your grace. You go before me into battle. You surround me with your light. No weapon formed will overcome me. You are with me in the fight. When heaven decides to act, everything changes. Every broken place is fully rearranged. What was lost is now restored again by the power of your perfect plan. Now I stand with faith that will not shake, knowing every promise you will make. When heaven decides to act, I proclaim your victory forever remains. Your victory forever remains. Your victory forever remains.